Alright, y'all, we back, man. Yeah, tried to cut that video. Somebody was walking by. Still be a little bit nervous about being on camera in front of people. Got to get out of that. But yeah, man, don't get too caught up in expectations. The only thing you need to be expecting is, to stay clean one day at a time. I can just, just to kind of think, man, the blessings that I have been, not so much a material blessing, but, spiritual blessings, yo, from the inside, emotions, being able to deal with my emotions. Like I said, they do get out of control a little bit sometimes. And, I do miss home, I do miss my kids, but, I got to remember that, this what I'm doing for them is the best thing that I could be doing for them, building this foundation, man, and staying clean every day is the best thing that we can do for our children, and that's if you got to go away for a month or a couple of months or years or whatever, when you're out there in the streets, you ain't spending time with them like that. You get locked up and go to prison, because of the street life or whatever you're doing, you're gonna be away from them anyway. So if you gotta put distance in there, for the positive aspect of things, it's all plus, man. Count it all glory. And I'm just grateful for this opportunity, man. And I've met a bunch of great people. A lot of positive people, and people pouring into me instead of me always pouring into them. And I got a couple of dollars saved up. I got steady employment. And I got a lot of plans for next year, man. And it's just been all good, man. It's been, like I say, more good than bad. And I wouldn't even say bad about anything. It's just, things might not be going exactly how I want them to, or not moving as fast as I want them to. And, but it's moving, slow progress better than no progress. And, but, other than that, man, just really excited to be going up there and seeing my kids here in a minute, man. That's gonna be the blessing, and, super excited. Can't wait, trying to watch how I word things, man, just pouring a lot of positivity into me, into my situation, and it's a joy, man. I'm definitely getting joy out this thing. So if anything, I'm just ready to get up that road, and spend time with the children, man, spend time with my babies. Man, love on them, hug on them, kiss on them, and, recharge, reflect, reset, and, just come back renewed, man, spirit recharged, and just give me time to think about, what I'm trying to do, what I am doing, not trying to do anything, what I am doing. I got a lot of things lined up, and a lot of goals that I'm trying to attain, man. A lot of things that I'm looking forward to for next year. A lot of things I want to accomplish, and I will keep y'all tuned into that. I appreciate everybody who's followed me, subscribed to my channel, who comments on this channel. I appreciate everybody's kind words, and if I can be anything through this channel, is motivation, and, just letting people know that, this thing can be done and it's doable, and you ain't the only one going through it, like I said, you're seeing this in real time, and it's also something for me for I can go back and look at, like I said, my first video. If you go watch that first video, I can just look at myself and just see how it's broken. know, so emotionally drained, mentally drained, physically drained, man. You know, the things coming right along, my hair growing out, skin looking a little better, man. You know, I'm feeling better inside and out, you know, and man, I feel blessed, man, and I'm just so excited to see what else this, you know, this journey brings me, man. I'm looking at all the blessings in other people's lives. You know, it's hard not to get into that comparison phase, y'all. It's hard not to compare, but I don't really like to compare. You know, I just like to see how God's blessing others. And, you know, and it just kind of put it on the radar, how, you know what I mean, what He's got in store for me. And, I mean, He's definitely been moving, man. You know, that's why I say to God be the glory, man, because none of this is possible without God, bro. You know, left it to my own will, you know, I'd be doing something else, like I say. And, but, you know, I always wanted to get clean. I always wanted to change my life. I always wanted to focus on entrepreneurship. I always wanted to hold down a steady job, bro. This is as long as I've ever had a job, bro. It's going on 5 months as of yesterday. As of today, matter of fact. You know, the 23rd, I think, or 24th, something like that. Anyway, it's been 5 months. You know, I've never kept a job this long steady. I'm always quitting, coming to work fucked up, coming to work high, or not showing up because of drinking and drugging the night before. Or, you know what I mean? The foolishness, you know what I mean? You know, just, you know, recap, man. I apologize, like I said, for not being more consistent with the videos, y'all. And, you know, I got to be honest, man, I was kind of getting a little discouraged, you know, people wasn't watching my videos. And one of my shorts, it got no views, you know what I mean? And it kind of threw me off, but I got to remember, you know, why I'm doing this, you know, and it's not about who's watching, who doesn't watch. It's about who does, and it's about, you know, me just getting some time to just talk. Because like I said, I don't have any family here, and I don't, you know, I'm pretty close to a lot of the guys in there, but, you know, sometimes I just got to vent, you know what I mean, and talk, and hear myself talk, you know, and run it back and just, you know, just get some things off that I don't feel like sharing with everybody in the rooms or sharing with my sponsors, which it shouldn't be nothing, but, you know, just sometimes you got to talk to yourself. Hey, you know, if I can motivate people at the same time, you know, that's a plus. You know, and if I can document and look back at my growth, you know, that's a plus. You know, and God, I'm just grateful, man. You know, and I'm glad to be back on here talking to y'all, man, because this is therapeutic for me. And like I said, I appreciate everybody who's watching, everybody subscribing, man. You know, I just hope y'all tune in and, you know, give me prayers while I'm, you know, traveling back home, North Carolina tomorrow. And, you know, just prayers to be safe on the highway, you know. And like I said, I got my license. I ain't got to worry about that. I'm not doing any drugs or drinking, but, you know, I do got to fear heights and traveling over them bridges and stuff, man. Be real. And I just never made a trip this far by myself, but, you know, it's something that I got to do. You know, and because, you know, I want to be prepared for when I am ready to bring my kids down here. You know, so I definitely got to make this journey by myself. So when I do get to bring them down here with me, you know, I'm comfortable with the trip. You know, and you know, just praying for safe travels. And you know, I might not be having nobody physically riding with me, but, you know, the Lord is always with me. So, you know, just leaving in prayer, you know, leaving in God's hands. And I know He wouldn't send me out there to not make it to see my family. And, you know, I hope all of y'all out there doing good, man. I hope y'all out there blessed and, you know, starting y'all's journeys, or, you know, or at least having a desire. You know what I mean? You know, if you got the desire, you'll get to it. You know, it'll happen one day, you know. Everybody's progress, everybody's process is different. And, you know, I just want to encourage you to, you know, chase your dreams, man. Don't settle for less. You know, you are more than you think you are. you know, the Lord will never leave or forsake you. You know what I mean? Try and have a little faith, you know, and just try this thing out, bro, because it works, man. You know, again, man, I'll definitely be jumping back on here tomorrow, you know, once I hit the highway, and be making videos for you guys. And, you know, hopefully I gain some more subscribers, man. That way we can go live, man, and we can, you know, have a real conversation. Anybody wants to talk, anybody wants to reach out, please do. You know, if anybody has a story they want to tell, man, or just somebody, they need a friend. If you need a friend, if you need, you know, somebody to confide in, I'm a great listener. If you need somebody to talk to, man, I can hold a great conversation, man. You know, I'm in support of anybody who needs it, you know, and, you know, if I can do this, you know what I mean, you can too, bro. You know what I mean? You know, it's not it's no end date to this thing. This is a change of lifestyle. And I know a lot of y'all out there, if y'all ain't watching watching me, you know what I mean? You feel like me. You know, you've been through some of the similar things I've been through, and you want to change. You know what I mean? And don't be scared of it. You know what I mean? Even if you are scared, do it in fear. Because fear is nothing but false evidence of things appearing real. False evidence appearing real. You know, there's many acronyms that we have in the rooms, you know, so I suggest you get to a meeting, you know, talk to a sober, somebody clean, and, you know, just get some information, pick up some literature, you know, go on YouTube. There's one thing I've been doing here lately is going on YouTube and listening to the NA speakers, you know, listening to the speaker meetings. You know, I definitely encourage you to do that. That's definitely been getting me through the day. You know, hug your kids, love your children, man. It's bigger than you. It's bigger than me, you know, so, you know, just keep that in mind, you know, and just remember one day at a time. If you can put one day together and do the same thing you did the next day, you know, you'll get this thing. Slowly you will accumulate the days, you know. Slowly you will accumulate a week. A week will turn into 2. 2 weeks will turn into 3. And you get some key tags, you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm proud of these things. I ain't got no car to put them on yet, but I will, you know, and, but yeah, man, it's just a beautiful thing, man. I'm so happy, man, and, you know, I'm proud of myself today. And, you know, I'm proud of y'all too, man. Y'all appreciate y'all watching, man. It's about time for me to get off this lunch break here in a minute, but like I said, man, I love y'all. Appreciate everybody subscribing, everybody watching, everybody commenting. You know, if you do comment, I try to make it my business to comment back. And, you know, let's do this thing together, man. You are not alone. I am with you. God is with you. And you got you, man. You're stronger than you think. You'll get there before you know it. And, you know, it works if you work it, man. Y'all go and have peace and blessed day, man. And stay clean, bro. You can do it. Peace.